We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Putella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, and I know where we are. We've been doing this for several years. Broadcasting from sunny southern Scottsdale, Arizona.
Today, Jill and I talk about housing versus land investing in 2021. You guessed it. We should be doing a version of both.
And I'm sure you're going to tell us all about that.
And where you should be doing it. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Mitch asks, this is a long one. Hello. I'm currently working on purchasing 3 properties from a church. The deeds that I received from the county seem to be written well and are all in the same format. Sure seems like a nice, easy purchase. The properties are currently written to be owned by the Episcopal Church in blank state. My question is, who is able to sign the new deed once it's written, since it's owned by the church instead of an individual? I asked a representative from the church dealing with the transaction if they know who signed the original deed, but they were unsure. I'm currently a grad student, so I'm in the process of saving up to join Land Academy and have some extra capital for my actual mailers and deals when the time comes. So my question is, for someone who's totally new to this, how would you recommend someone who has a couple months to prep to make the most of their time before diving in? So there's 2 parts. One's how to handle the deal, and then some other parts.
I'll do the first one.
Okay. And then, so I'll finish the whole thing and we'll go back. What's recommended who has a couple months to prep, make the most of their time before diving in? What are some of the good resources to really map out this process? And maybe even get the feel for searching, scrubbing, and playing with some data. I'd also be super grateful to get the chance to speak with someone who's been through it to see how they learned those first few steps.
That's what I was going to suggest.
In any case, it's been a pleasure to be here and excited to start. Thank you very much. Wishing everyone the best. Cheers, Julius. Cool.
Boy, what a good attitude.
We scroll. Oh, is it Mitch or Julius? I guess it's Julius.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe I did it wrong.
That's okay. Cool.
This whole business with the church thing, when any entity other than an individual, John Smith or whatever, owns a piece of property, you need some backing to identify and to tie into, or like kind of desk audit to check to see if they are able to sign on behalf of the entity, whether it's an LLC, a trust, whatever.
Church.
In this case, a church. It's all churches are by default. This is interesting. All churches by default are deemed by the IRS as a 501c3 nonprofit, but they don't have to fill out any paperwork and file it. They're just deemed that. So there's a charter somewhere or something like that that says, hey, this, it's usually the pastor actually, or
the board. Somebody might be a member of a board.
It might be a board. In some cases, I doubt it.
I've had a few where they knew and they had the document and they could send it to me.
Yeah.
And so most of them they do. That's always been my case. Yep. Here's a copy of the document. It shows this is the primary for the board, the secondary for the board. They both sign it, or only one has to sign whatever it says on there. So, and that's usually how it goes. So that's easy. And then you want to go to the second part about, hey, Joe, I'm new and what do I do?
Yeah, that's you.
Well, first of all, you're in the right place. Start reading, watching, following, asking, get involved, talk to people who are new and getting going. And I love that thing about, meet up with someone and see what worked for them. And the best place to do that is where you are in our online community. Those people right there. And they're so sweet. I've had so many members that put their phone numbers in there and say, sure, give me a call.
Give me a call. I was right where you were a year ago. I'm happy to help. What I'm seeing more and more too is people saying, hey, I'm in the Dallas area. Let's meet up. I'm in this area and here's my email address or phone number. Let's go to Starbucks or something. Mm-hmm. So that's how you get a partner.
Right.
So I would do all of that. Maybe they'll download some, if you're so interested in scrubbing data and stuff before you join, maybe they'll download some data for you.
Mm-hmm. You guys can practice
Maybe they'll
together.
hire you to do their next mailer.
That's not crazy.
That's how I got my assistant.
Mm-hmm. Ding, ding.
Today's topic, housing versus land investing in 2021. This is the meat of the show. Housing is on fire. Jill and I just attended a Realty Track a few days ago seminar. I'm a huge fan of Realty Track, and their approach to data and how they use it and how they organize it for you, and their lust for buying undervalued real estate. They do it through foreclosures and houses and buildings and stuff, not land. But I learn a lot. I'm a card-carrying member of Realty Track. And I try to get everybody a subscription in Land Academy to make it part of the membership. And they said, no way. We don't give discounts ever. So it just doesn't make sense financially.
Mm-hmm.
Housing, let me tell you, and I'm going to say this in like 2 sentences. Rural housing is on fire like never before. So you take Phoenix as a market from a housing standpoint. The days on market in Phoenix is like 7 in certain areas, maybe 7 to 30 days on market. It's very, very, very low. All over the West Coast, with the exception of California, it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's like that. And it's all being fueled by people moving because they're working at home. It's, it's fueling this massive demand for houses. And nobody has to live in a city anymore. So everybody, what you get out in a rural area from a pricing standpoint, you don't have to commute to an office. The kids get to have a yard and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So use that in determining where you're going to send mail. So it's not just days on market. You don't want to necessarily I don't send mailers out in Phoenix. It's too hot. It's too on fire type of, low days on market. It's too congested with investors and all kinds of stuff. But in rural areas in California, like Tennessee, we've had a lot of luck, but there's a lot of places that that's 1 or 2 hours drive from some of these big cities that are really, really good idea to buy housing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact opposite for land. Urban markets right now, because there's so many homes being built, infill lot mailers are a really good idea in an urban market, as well as the old standby rural vacant land.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very, very active, more active than in my entire career. So both are. You just need to concentrate, maybe look at it a little bit differently and trace demand.
Right. I love it. I'm so excited and so happy. Oh, I thought was so interesting is listening to that and some of the predictions that I mentioned yesterday, the pros had, going into, 2020, like, oh, here it comes. The bottom's going to fall out. No one's going to, everybody's going to be moving in with their parents. No one's buying in anything. It's all going to be vacant houses everywhere. Didn't happen.
Nope.
The opposite happened.
Yep. Everybody wants more square footage, more bathrooms, a bigger yard, all of that.
Exactly. And even in some of the expensive areas, which is shocking to me that there's still so much movement going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nutty. And it's just made us busier and doing better deals, doing bigger deals. I'm so excited. And and what I thought too is they talked not only about just the housing market, but the economy as a whole, how it's going with foreclosures and forbearance and things like that, and how you watch that and you can predict what's going to happen. And what was that 50,000 number? We're going to share that number.
Well, I mean, more importantly,
okay,
82% of all of the forbearance situations get resolved, where everybody wins. The bank wins, the homeowner wins. So when you add up, there's several statistics, so I don't want to make this very complicated. There are about 50,000 more people in the entire country that are in a foreclosure situation because of this COVID,
right? Which is
that's insignificant number.
Correct.
So there's not going to be this thing at the end where it all explodes and there's a ton of houses on the market. You can just forget about that. I hope you can go to I don't know if Realty Track records those and makes the past webinars available, but it's changed. They did?
They did. They said that they said that. And so it's probably in our inboxes now.
Okay.
So if we want to share that or talk about it more, I sure took screenshots.
I did too, actually.
Because I'm like, this is great information. I love this. Lots more that we can dive deeper in if you want to.
Yeah, I think we should actually schedule that.
I think just gotta we'll get out our notes what's our biggest takeaway, please, babe?
The housing thing's not going to explode. The housing boom is not a bubble. It's just that a boom. Is it going to slow down? Yeah. Are there going to be higher interest rates? Yes. There's a lot of little nuances that are going to change and slow it down a little bit, but it's not going to go down. It went down, and they kept talking about 2010 and how it went down. Jill and I were buying houses for $20,000 that are $200,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just, they don't see that happening. And it's all because of this. And here's the big takeaway. This working from home thing is here to stay forever. So everybody wants a bigger house, and they want to live in the woods. It's like phase 4 of the American dream, where you can actually live in a place that's out of a movie out west somewhere with a big plot of land and a really, really good internet connection, and live your life and be happy. Maybe have a garden in the backyard.
I agree. It's the best ever. It seems like it's so funny. I talk to people often and they're like, thinking about coming to Land Academy. Like, I'm sure I missed the boat. I'm sure it's too late. And all I keep saying is, shockingly, it keeps getting better. Not only do our data solutions and the way we run our business and all the resources that we have, they get better and faster and easier. But now with the market and the things that are going on, it's awesome.
The key is that you have to adjust. Jill's about to do, we're recording this on Thursday. She's right in a half hour. She's going to do a clubhouse. She does these clubhouse talks. She's been doing that for a month. This thing we just got made aware of it. And so now she's really heavily into it. So, and this will happen. This needs to happen in your career, your investment career, all the time. Things change.
Yeah. Be on the forefront.
Make lemonade,
Exactly. And roll with the punches.
Yep.
That's my biggest one. You can't dig your heels in. You've got to be flexible. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called, How Many Offers Should You Really Be Sending Out Per Month? You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I have a number.
I do too, for me.
Yeah, your number. This is good. We should, let's talk about that tomorrow. Right. I want to talk about the newbie number, the average person number, and then the pro level number. And then we could talk about.
All right. Let's not, I just wrote it down.
I'll leave it at that.
Not disclose it with each other.
Nope.
And then we'll talk about it.
Okay, cool. That's fun. Need to send out a few thousand offers to property owners like we do. Check out Offers to Owners. That's offers and the number 2 and owners.com. No setup fees, free mail merge, and exceptional service. We should know, as it is our company. Give Offers to Owners a call today.
We're Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.